Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and this is another episode of Banner of the Stars. I, in fact, do not have anything to go over this time, I don't think. Let me just double check. Let me double check the chat here. Yeah, no, last comment here was the one that I read last episode. The stuff I had written down last episode was mostly about the conversation between the fleet commander and Lafiel and Jinto during the birthday dinner. How much I appreciated all that. Otherwise, not really a lot to go over here. I guess there's one thing. My problem being that we are, from what I recall from the last time on, going to be focusing on the twin brothers moving forwards because they're going to be in charge of the battle. And for my money, they are the least interesting characters that we've been introduced to so far. I mean, they could be fine. I guess there's plenty that they could do with the whole one is a coldly logical guy and the other one is a very emotional person. I mean, there's room to do something there. I just don't feel like there's. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I am just being pessimistic. And I hope that I'm not, because this is a show that I've really liked so far, and it's a show that you guys have said is really good. I just don't feel like I care about those two characters. Like they've showed up out of nowhere. Literally, only that admiral that was with Lord Desanyu cared anything about it, and she was like, "I got a bad feeling about this." Otherwise, every scene that they've had has not been entertaining. They haven't done anything like intriguing, no mystery about them. I feel like they're being set up to fail. That's another big thing. I mean, maybe not like by Lord Desanyo himself. He obviously is like, they're royalty, I'm royalty, we can't make mistakes, which is bad for his character. But I mean, I feel like the show is setting them up for failure. Like, they're untested, they've got no experience, they're the product of nepotism, genetic nepotism, and nepotism on Lord Desanyo's behalf. There's just a lot going on here. Um, Otherwise, I don't want these two to be the reason any of my people die, right? One, I've got more interesting people that I spent a season getting to know. Cool. I want more of that. I feel like last episode was the most payoff that I had for season one in season two. Like, remember at the end of season one where we're like, and 3 years later, we're gonna come together and we're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna see you off to whatever you decide to do with the rest of your life. And it's like, cool. That's good. That's extremely good narrative. And then this season has been mostly recap with the momentary amount of tension put in to make you think that somebody could die. And we're going back to it this episode, by the way. And I feel like it's going to be one of those asshats reasons why I'm going to lose somebody that I care about now. And I don't give a shit about them, is my problem. I don't even want to say that they're not well written, because that's what I'm thinking, obviously, but it might fall into the same camp of the thing before, right? Where Clowall was a very one dimensional type villain. And then we get birthday dinner, and Clowall turns into this human being who's multifaceted. It's just obviously you can't express that in a scene, or I guess the 2 episodes, where we need him to be one way. I just don't know that I'll care to readdress the brothers after they die due to whatever stupid shit that they get up to that causes the aptic system to fall. I guess I am left with worry. I am left with worry to where how the season's been going so far. We haven't been getting any world building anymore. We've been getting lots of clip shows. I mean, maybe I'm being hyperbolic. Maybe I'm being, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what that was. Maybe I'm falling back into my flippant nature that I used to be with Griff all the time, but the only place I have to express it is here with you who are watching me watch it and noting what I'm thinking when I'm seeing these things. That we're doing a lot of, hey, do you remember when? For the whole season. I would almost have to say that we've gotten only 50 to 60% new episode stuff this season. I don't feel great about that. That's not the show that I fell in love with, right? Well, problem there is that is exactly the show I fell in love with. It's, it's showing me, hey, you remember this thing that you liked? How about a little bit more to make the other bit seem better? I don't know if Phil Fisher is ever going to watch this, but it's the Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water movie of seasons, where we're just going to open you up with a whole, hey, do you remember the whole show so far? Let's remind you real quick so that we can spend a little less time on this part that's not going to be that great. Anyway, I said I didn't have anything to talk about, and then I rambled for 5 minutes about the one thing that nobody wants to hear from the reactor of, which is this might be negative. Anyway, I'm never gonna hold back. You people are either gonna watch it or you're not. I'm sorry, don't want to disrespect anybody like that. I just I don't know where to go from here. I'm having second thoughts about the show, and that if I'm having second thoughts at this point, the show really needs to pick back up. It needs to hook me back in, get me with a plot. Have Lafiel have to talk to Lord Desanio for the first time on screen. Have I don't know, have Sloof show back up. That dude, I wanted that dude to be around for a lot longer, and that dude just vanished. And his sister showed up, and his sister's really not his sister. Clowall's sister showed up, and she's really cool too. But we barely get any of her. And then when we do get her, the camera goes all Gynax. We get indecent proposal with her leg crossing under the table for some reason. It's going real weird, guys. It's going real weird. Give me the Goonies space adventure shit that we had in season one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I got much else here. I'm just gonna be digging a hole the more I talk. Let's go ahead and get into the next episode of Banner of the Stars and pray together that it gets better. So let's get into it. I was worried. What are you doing? This is the pre-opening speech that we've seen 4 times now. They got rid of it last episode. It wasn't in the last episode. Now they brought it back. This is not a good omen, guys. I do not know what to think of this. Okay. At least it didn't go right into the opening. I was going to be very disappointed. So I feel like that was literally just the next time on that we saw before. And you know what it didn't do? It did not explain why Lafiel wasn't on the bridge. I think there's a bit of inference, though, we can do. I'm not going to try and go right to the negative place and say something's bad. I think there's a bit of inference that we can do there. They obviously were surprised that mines were where they were, which means that they were in a place that they did not expect to be in a fight. However, it did look like they were in plane space, so I'm still wondering why, if they were traveling in plane space, Lafiel wouldn't be on the bridge, considering that would mean that they were traveling information or going somewhere. Although I guess technically they do have stationary ships in plane space to guard against the invasion or monitor plane space for time bubbles and whatnot. So I guess they could be just sitting there. But if they're just sitting there, how would the mines just appear out of nowhere? They have to be moving. Though they could be on a patrol route, which would involve movement. And it did seem like there was debris there. Maybe they're investigating or harvesting, or picking up, rather, the ruins of a destroyed ship in the last battle. And the mines are there to, you know, hit. No, the mines are moving. They're coming from elsewhere. Yeah, I have no idea why the fuck was Lafiel not on the bridge. That's the real downside of the time fusion thing, is you know when the hole's gonna open up, you fire ahead of it. I have a feeling this guy is not gonna survive this episode.
実際のところ、スポール提督の第一艦隊は減塩作戦の目的を達成するところでした。しかし、敵の威力偵察が実行されたことから、大規模な反撃が近いことは確実。第一艦隊がラスイ総国に達しない限り、後方の門を奪い返されることは、補給路を断たれて艦隊が孤立することを意味します。第一艦隊の進軍を止めてでも、敵の反撃を迎え撃つのが。
She said something I really want to go back and check in the notes area. The name of the kingdom that they're trying to reach on the other side.
敵の領土に直結したウィンブル門とミオフランディア門の2つです。この2つの門は偵察艦隊を残して一旦放棄。そうすれば次に彼らが進行するのはそれぞれに直結しているアフティック
This is also information that we got when we covered the whole map thing, which I still have my folders, by the way.
さらに敵艦隊は立て直すのに時間がかかり、その隙に作戦の遂行が容易になるでしょう。
それはその戦い勝利すればの話ですな。
そのために参謀長はここにいるのですよ。
いえ、別にそのような意味では。
参謀長、続けてください。
はい。現在、アプティック方面にはビボース提督、ミスケルにはムルスファー提督の艦隊を配備いたしました。我々の主力艦隊は
I'd like to be able to see the other guy, by the way.
時点で移動を開始します。
敵の動きが判明して、それから動いても大丈夫なのですか？
問題は敵の動きをどれだけ早く読めるかです。いずれにしてもここで迎え撃たなくては、減塩作戦そのものが危うくなることは火を見るよりも明らか。
ならば、偵察艦隊は最寄りの門からも応援で出させなさい。ウィンブル、ミオフランディアでの索敵行動がこの作戦の要になるでしょう、参謀閣下。
Okay, so is that what our boys are up to?
そして僕たちが所属する軍艦隊ラトゥーシュ第1058突撃戦隊はここウィンブルモン方面への索敵に投入され、敵を最初に発見するという功績を伴った幸運と突発的な戦闘に巻き込まれるという不運を同時に手に入れたのである。
Okay. I guess the idea being that lafiel just can't be on the bridge all the time because you would never know when you're going to get
破
attacked.
壊を確認。敵
Fair
時
enough,
空
I
砲
guess.
消滅しました。
はあ、敵さんもやっと種切れかよ。
被害は
左舷後方の装甲板に損傷。大丈夫。このくらいならなんとか。
艦長、対司令部より砲艦通信。読むがよい。敵の先遣部隊の殲滅に成功。これより撤退を開始せよ。
撤退？勝ったのに？
我らの目的は索敵であって、ウィンブル政権の確保ではないからな。
そうか。
敵本体の進行も確認されたと言っています。分かった。撤退準備。
艦長、我々の時空砲内は
敵の破片で質量が増加、速度が大幅に低下とのことですが。
分かったわ。
Oh, we covered that 2 episodes ago.
変分
Or
してちょう
3.
だい。バースロイルとセーグロイルは本体に遅れて構いません。安全な帰還を祈る。
了解。変分を送ります。
艦長、もう長いこと休まれていないのでは。私が当直につきますから休んでください。
そうだな。そうさせてもらう。皆も交代で休息を取るがよい。
Yeah, they're treating it basic. Oh, the mine. Okay, the opening of the episode was actually forward in time from now. Got it, we're doing that again. Never mind, I take back everything I said. That makes all sense. Been harping about nothing. I apologize.
さ、邪魔をしちゃダメだよ。
Oh, I was gonna say, we were doing that same thing from before. Where we distracted the patrol ships, and then the battleships sent all of their mines forward, and that took care of the patrol ships. We're doing the same thing now, apparently. Except this is a forward advance, and that was a defense.
敵襲直撃。環境状況を知らせよ。
現在確認中です、艦長。
何があったの？
わからない。
あ、そっか。
ジント。感謝を。
別に重くはなかったよ。
バカ。
Boom. That's all I needed. That's all I wanted. We're good.
やってますが
Good job.
時空砲発生期間の方が優先でしょう。
了解だ。自責少子、セーグロイルは
健在。今情報を連結中。緊急事態は分かっている。状況を正確にかつ端的に報告するがよい。
機雷攻撃を受けました。
攻撃？
それで
強襲後方で迎撃破壊しましたが、至近距離まで接近されたため破片多数の直撃を受けました。セーグロイルも同様です。
被害は
現在確認中ですが、最低16カ所からの機密漏れおよび完備上面の設備多数が大破もしくは中
So
破。
actually, I was completely right
時系
before,
列
though.
役所し
I said that they hid
監督と協力して
mines
船の状況を把握するがよい。
in the wreckage, and that's what they did. I just misread when
不発
the
機
fight
雷
was
が同
happening.
時に活動を再開するなんて。
同時に
本艦に3発、セーグロイルに4発の機雷が2秒以内の誤差でほぼ同時に活動を開始しました。
偶然とは思えないな。
ええ。
艦長、セーグロイルと回線つながりました。
アブリアル10少長、こちらはかなり深刻だ。そちらはどうかね。
本艦も多数の被害を受けているが、まだ把握に至っていない。
艦長、まずいですよこれは。砲艦通信機と質量波観測機がやられてます。他にもいろいろ言っちまってますが、この2つが一番ひどい。
ただ、人的損害がないのが救いです。
うん。被害も希望も互いに似たようなものらしいな。
セーグロイルも。
ああ、そうだ。
delayed action mines,
な
though.
ので同じような場
That
所
would
に
change the
直撃
whole
を受け
war, I
た
feel like.
無理もない。我々は平面宇宙に孤立した。
それも進行してくる敵艦隊の目前で。
Never noticed before, but their ship's bridge looks like a giant face with eyes on the other side of the captain's chair.
それで砲艦通信機は？
目処はついたよ。ただし手持ちの資材では修理不可能という目処がね。
そんな。
先ほどセーグロイルから連絡があった。砲艦通信機、質量波観測機ともに絶望的だそうだ。
では少しだけこちらの方がマシだな。
つまり質量波観測機は修理可能ということだな。
They can see here is that the radar is down. You have no idea how far away the advancing enemy fleet is. You don't know how in danger
セー
you
グロイ
might
ルから
be.
通信時空砲を停止状態にしたいとのことです。了解した。
現状のままでは時空砲がどちらに向かってしまうかも確認できませんからね。おまけにあと6時間は接近する時空砲があっても気づかないわけだ。
Let's see. I guess you can't salvage any parts from their broken system. Try and fix yours with.
質量波観測機の応急修理は完了した。だが状況はそれほど好転したとは言えぬ。
精度がかなり落ちていまして、近距離の質量波しか感知できないのです。
現在のところ狭い有効範囲内には何も観測できていない。
闇雲に移動するわけにもいかないが、たとえ味方が救出に来てくれたとしても重大な問題が一つある。
全身の神経にヤスリがけされているような辛い待機状態はそれから40時間以上にわたって続くことになった。
Please don't fast forward through
平
this.
面宇宙における時空砲は床の上で回転する玉のようなものだ。移動状態では転がっていて、停止状態ではその場で回転するという違いがあるに過ぎない。つまり今も時空砲発
Oh,
生
you
期
have no
間
idea where you're at now?
反物質燃料を消費し続けているのだ。消費量を抑えるため、徐々に居住環境も犠牲にしなければならなくなってきた頃、ついに状況の変化が訪れた。
艦長、接近する質量波を確認。規模は1個戦隊相当です。至急セーグロイルに知らせるがよい。
時空砲が近づいてきたって。
こちらはもう6時間終わった。バースロイルはいかがかな。
約10時間というところだ。
I haven't expressed it, but I love this situation, by the way. This is like one of my favorite Star Trek books.
逃げるってどうして？砲艦通信が使えない今の私たちには接近する時空砲が敵か味方か確認する方法がないんだよ。そんな。
単純な計算だが2艦の稼働時間を合計すれば16時間になるということかな。
合計？
よし、時間はまだある。急ぐんじゃないぞ。
I mean, it's not like they can use it anyway, right?
容器を手荒に扱うような勇気は俺にもないんだからな。
向こうの燃料と乗員をこちらに移して時空分離する。確かに有効な判断ですね。
うん。セーグロイルと破片を置き去りにすればかなり航行速度も上がるはずだ。
それにしても時空砲の中で手作業なんて。まだ散らばっている破片は多い。カリークでさえこの作業は不可能だったろうからね。
艦長、燃料の移送作業。
I mean, the problem is also, since you don't know what the ships are that are approaching you, you could be running away from your own help.
ラカシュ10省長、聞いての通り、次はそちらの少子の番だ。
残念ながら辞退させていただくよ、アブリアル10省長。
Oh, yeah, the security
今ま
thing.
で黙っていて申し訳なかったが、我々は環境から脱出できそうにないのだ。
Oh, not even that. Fuck.
他に修理せねばならんところが多すぎて、ここは後回しにせざるを得なかったのだよ。残念ながら今から脱出路を確保する人でも時間もない。
だが燃料もなしに機関らを置いていくような恥ずべき行為など私はしたくない。
個人的な趣味の問題ではありませんぞ。王女殿下、皇族には皇族の、貴族には貴族の義務があるように、政界軍将士
I didn't think this guy was gonna survive, but damn.
責任があります。
Mad respect for him,
10
though.
省長、
私は現状で最も多くの者が最も高い確率で生還する選択肢を選んだつもりです。そうだな、アブリアル10省長、我が船の従士たちをよろしく頼む。
約束する。
それでは通信を終わる。以上。
I thought they were gonna do a
固定策
thing
が
where
切り離されました。
ob information can't fall into enemy hands, like they did back in Sufganov.
艦長、本艦の行動は？
時空分離。
了解。こうして僕たちのバースロイルは セーグロイルを置き去りにして時空分離することになった。セーグロイルは残ったわずかな燃料で後方から迫る時空砲軍の鼻先をかすめていった。無論僕たちを逃がすためのおとり役を買って出てくれたのだ。そして
Yeah, okay. I mean, horrible. You didn't have to fucking show us.
セーグロイル消滅。
I thought that was going to happen immediately, but they made it sound like they were going to run into...
船と共に時空粒子に変換され、永遠に平面宇宙を漂い続けるでしょう。
They made it sound like they were going to run into the other fleet, and I was just thinking, oh, well, maybe the other fleet is the Allies, and they're going to be saved anyway.
循環系の稼働効率も落としてるんだろうさ。
そんなことして燃料の残り時間がどのくらい増えると言うんです。5分ですか10分ですか。
俺が知るか。
くそ、一層かけてくる時空砲に投降した方が。
俺は収容所とむき出しの平面宇宙、どっちがマシかな。
Probably in space, I'd think. From what we've heard in past comments.
銃士たちの半数以上が投降を希望しています。たとえ接近してくるのが敵だとしても、このまま燃料切れになっちまったら。
まだなっていない。ギリギリまで退避を続ける。
みんな限界なんじゃないかな。燃料の前に神経が持たないのかも。
私には全員を生きて連れ帰る義務があるんだ。
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
前方に新たな時空砲軍を確認。
Fuck them if they don't have half the resolve as, God damn it, was it Baxter? Captain Baxter? What's a big name? He's our now current measure, right? He's the measuring stick.
前方の時空砲軍を味方と認識する。前進を継続せよ。
了解。
艦長、
Something in the pixels there that I did not
小型の時空
recognize.
砲が分離。嫌いと思われます。
嫌い？
ダメだ。この距離じゃ避けられない。
凝集候補、迎撃する燃料がありません。
構わぬ。このまま前進するがよい。時空融合10秒前。8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1。時空融合。
自爆信号に反応なし。
でもこっちに突っ込んでこない。不発。
こちら政界軍アプティックモン防衛艦隊。友軍の突撃艦に告げる。
Nope, somebody to transmit information.
時空融合せよ。繰り返す。こちら政界軍アプティックモン防衛艦隊。
通信が入る。なぜだ。
簡単だ。砲艦通信でなければ受信は可能だ。
どういうこと？
あの機雷、おそらくは記録通信の最盛期であろう。こんなことを思いつくのは後すりや百姓長に違いない。
Ooh, yeah, I love this episode. I love this episode.
では
聞いたであろう。時空融合を急ぐがよい。
了解。
ガムロイルを確認。情報を連結します。
おかえりなさい、バスロイル。無事に合流できたことを嬉しく思うわ。
ありがとうございます。後ほどセーグロイルの最後を報告します。
後方から追ってくる時空砲軍は人類統合体の艦隊よ。牽制しつつ交代します。
了解。
You didn't know we were right this whole time.
僕たち助かったんだね。
やれやれ。もしも敵の時空砲に投降していたらと思うとゾッとしますな。それにしてもなぜ味方だと分かったんです？前方の時空砲軍が。
私も聞きたいですね。判断材料になるものはなかったと思うので
It's
すが。
gonna be a guess, wasn't it?
それは
Hunch?
軍事機密だ。
ただの勘。
そなた無礼だな。確証がなかっただけだ。どのみち反物質燃料が底をついていた。結果を考慮する余地はなく、どちらかを選ばねばならない段階に至っていたんだ。
It does make for an amazing officer's
締めに
mess
しても自信なさげな艦長
story
の
for
姿を
later.
見ながらよりはマシであろう。それに迷った時は前へ進め、そう以前にも言ったであろう。
たったそれだけのことで。
何がおかしいんだジント。
God, that thing melted quick.
この機密はみんなには守り通した方がいいだろうなと思って。
Oh man, even that is kind of like a callback to Clo Wall, isn't
敵
it?
主力はウィンブルに入りましたか。
はい。アプティックの索敵部隊が確認しました。
ということはアプティックが敵の主目標ですね。
Man, what a great episode. I am so thrown by the fact I spent, what, 6 minutes complaining about where it felt like this season was going, and then got the best episode of the season so far. I just never know when to call a thing, right? Like, I was very concerned, like, why is Lafiel not on the bridge? And then it turns out we do the thing that we've done, what, twice now, but typically we've done it at the start of the season, where we put a fight at the beginning of the episode, only to show it later on in the episode actually happening. I just assumed we did some sort of time skip thing, because sometimes it happens in shows. And then, boom, they explained it away, and all of the problem that I had with Lafiel not being on the bridge, explained, answered, immediately. I apologize for that, and then we move on to... After this is over, I'm going to talk about that Star Trek novel, because I don't see any way out of it for me. It is my favorite Star Trek novel, and it is very much this. Very much like this. So I apologize if you're not here for that, but that's what I'm gonna do.
穏やかあれで。
想像していたよりはるかに。どうもあの方は自分を場違いに感じていらっしゃるんじゃないかな。多分上から命令される立場に向いていないのだろう。
乾杯。
もっと大きな裁量権を持つか、いっそ一人で行動した方がいいのかもしれない。
場違いね。そういやあの坊やもそんなこと言ってたっけ。
Okay, way to spoil titles. Okay. I said in the ending credits I was going to talk about that Star Trek book, just so you know what my favorite Star Trek novel is, so that I can describe how it's exactly like this episode and why I love it so much. Star Trek Best Destiny is half of the story of Kirk's first adventure in space, I think, as a teenager when his dad forces him to go on a science excursion because Kirk is a bad boy with his teenage friends. And literally, it is a MacGyver-esque Star Trek thing where it's a pirate guy who is the first guy who invents deflector technology, and he uses it to get real close to this like gravitational hazard which will crush ships without deflectors. So it's entirely the whole planar space thing, right? That these ships have to maintain this like this shield thing or be crushed. And it's about one ship that is heavily damaged, and it's basically just a bunch of people in a cargo hold, like remote operating like a Waldo eye and trying to see what's in front of them, and then tricking a ship by having it turn around into their direction and like injecting all their garbage at it, and then the velocity hits the other ship and rips it apart. It is very much it's so much like this, except without this is two ships trying to survive, and this is two ships trying to fight in exactly the same scenario. So they're very similar. It's so similar, and I love the every little thing matters, sort of. Well, I've mentioned it before in ship's combat, but in this case, it's every sort of thing matters to survival. Like we're talking about how much antimatter we have. We got two ships with varying degrees of systems working. We're talking about how much air we have left, how fast we can get there versus how many ships we have and how much mass is in the bubble to slow us down. Everything matters. And when we get to an everything matters and we start actually keeping track of shit, that's when it's really good. That's why I loved Best Destiny. It's the same thing. Um, Obviously, I saw the dude was going to die. Like in the beginning of the episode, he just had that air about him that this is a character that's not going to survive for us to need to care about. Obviously, sacrificed himself like a G, which means that I'm going to go back, even if he only showed up here. I am going to go back, get his image. We're going to put a name on him, and we're going to put him on the board because he deserves a spot on the board. Dude is. If I already didn't declare Lex Shu as my favorite character, Dude would be my favorite character. It's a one episode guy. Man. I did not anticipate it was going to be a we can't get off the bridge moment. I thought it was going to be we can't let this information fall in enemy hands sort of sacrifice from season one sort of thing. Whatever the AI it was on the drop pod, which failed by the way because it did get captured. Maybe I didn't understand that part. Oh, there was so much good here. It's this redeemed the whole season for me. I have still concerns about those two and the fact that it seems like next episode we're going to be dealing with them, which was all the worry that I said before this. What this was the episode. I love it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go into the note taking section to see if there's a lot of notes that I do take or I can take because a lot of this has just felt like maybe not specifically in this episode, but in the season so far, every episode's been like a little bit of note, a little bit of note, a little bit of note, and everything else is gut reaction, right? And I apologize, of course, I have this face, a stone face, some reactors might say, and I know it kind of. Some people have told me you look bored while you're watching. I don't think you're enjoying this. I love it. Unfortunately, it's only the high energy voice that gives that away. And I'm not bouncing around here. One, it's nearing 2 a.m. when I'm recording this, so I'm trying to keep it down for other people in the house. But anyway, I'm rambling again. Let's just go ahead and get into the notes. Hey everyone, back in from the note taking. Like I said, not going to be much here that wasn't in what I said before. But yeah, best episode of the season so far. This and Birthday Dinner were back-to-back hits. Love them both. They've given me more faith than I clearly had in the season than when I started recording. So, thank God. Was the Laisli Kingdom from Miofrantia onwards, or was it the region of the United Mankind space currently being contested by the Phantom Flame Offensive? I searched my notes. I have not typed that name in before. It's not the Tea Kingdom. It's not the kingdom that makes smoke grenades, and it's not one of the four nations for the Sicily Treaty. So I don't know who they are. Sometimes it feels like combat in Crest of the Stars, at least in planar space, is like that game Missile Command, and that might be a game that's too old for a lot of you out there, but as a kid of the 80s, that's a game I'm familiar with. The enemy assaults you at long range with a barrage of missiles, or in this case, mines, and your primary objective is to shoot them down before they hit you while someone else deals with firing back. If you don't know what Missile Command is, flatline and I want to say five little cities on that line, and they have a little dome around them. And what happens is these lines come down from the top of the screen right at your cities. And essentially, this is World War III, when the nukes are coming. And you are Missile Command. Your responsibility is to shoot down the oncoming missiles. So you see the missiles coming, and then you click like somewhere ahead of them. So a little missile comes flying up from your cities, explodes wherever you clicked. You got to time the approaching missiles because some of them are moving faster, some of them are moving slower, and you want to try and destroy as many of those with your own little nukes going off as you can. And that's what it feels like. The mines are flying through planar space, and they just pop into your little time space bubble, and you've got to shoot them down before it hits your city or ship, as it were. It seems like the concept of hiding mines in debris and setting them off later is a new concept slash tactic in the war. To a certain extent, I imagine that makes sense, as it would be a situationally useful, but only in the extreme. You'd need a situation in which large amounts of debris have accumulated in a space-time bubble, and also a situation where you could have launched a large number of mines that a few could possibly have gone unnoticed. It feels more like a one-time trick than a new battle strategy. I mean, it would be a waste of resources to try it too many times, considering that everything falling outside of those bubbles gets crushed to atoms. The moment the mines popped out of them, they'd either get destroyed or activate their own bubbles, which we've seen they have. Uh, by which I mean that they traverse the space between bubbles, so clearly they've got bubbles of their own somehow, and they get instantly destroyed and shot at like all the others ahead of them did. I think the United Mankind just got lucky this episode. Ragash is my second favorite character now. Right after Lekshu, man went out like a boss, making the sacrifice he knew had to be made in ensuring his crew would escape to safety. I mean, minor note for the fact that he also acted like a decoy, buying buying Lafiel, or the boss royal, buying the boss royal just a little bit more time. In case it was missed, in episode 6 of the first season, they made the comment about how you wouldn't want to surrender to the United Mankind forces if you were a Nob, likening what would happen to you as being like being in a concentration camp. So, I guess that goes away towards considering how broken the crew were in those final moments, where over half of them were willing to face that rather than death in planar space. I know Lafiel was going on intuition and desperation in the end, but on the radar screen, the approaching forces were in a perfect formation, and the United Mankind forces were a bit of a mess. One clearly looked like an ob perfectionist formation, so not for nothing, but there was something to make a judgment off of. And my final note here is that Lafiel's mess hall drink scene felt like a Clowall callback. I don't know to what end, though, specifically, but if you remember how the vassals at Clowall's reception area were so thrown by the fact that Lafiel's drink like spilled a little down the side, and then here we are literally panning onto it with a focus as they're laughing. So I don't know exactly what it's calling back to, but the callback is there, is what I'm saying. Anyway, these have been my thoughts on this episode. Like I said, best of the season and back to back with my other favorite, so this has been great. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next episode. Like I said, got anything to say? Let me know. I'm here for the interaction. Otherwise, I will catch you next time on the next Stone-Faced Reaction. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?